Let's
We're in
get it. We are back. This is
early
another
one.
one. Oh, darn it.
You're
I
not even
forgot.
prepared. You're not even
No,
prepared. That's all
it's
right.
been a long day. It's been a long day. But welcome back to another episode of Cold One Conversations. I
Get
am
it.
one of your hosts, Brendan Petrilli. I got Harry the Bod.
Oh, I'm the bot now.
You're the
Okay.
Bod now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's how we're rolling here
I like
on
it. I like
this
it.
pre-summer into spring show. We're here rocking and rolling. Harry's got the O's hat on. I got the
Respect.
Phillies hoodie. It's still a little chilly in the Philadelphia area today. It was a nice day though. I love the weather where it's like kind of warm, though, like
Yep.
when you're in the sun, but you get that nice slight breeze, so you can still
Yes.
rock the hoodie with the shorts on underneath.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
and sometimes you go no underwear with those shorts.
And you let it fly.
Sometimes you're letting it fly. And on top of that, what do you got on the feet? Nothing less than a pair of bow sandals. You're
Yeah.
rocking rainbows all day long. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Cold One's Conversations. I'm the bod today. I'll take it. Also known as Harold Hoops, also known as Harold the Wizard. We are glad to be back. We got some huge NFL contract signings over the past week and a half.
Huge.
Huge, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that is the definition of it. I got the Ravens fucking shirt on out of respect. And dude, let's get right into it. This ain't BSP. We're gonna talk some Eagle. But first, we got to hit it with. Dude, it was one of the. If I could have taken this podcast to the church, okay. If I could have taken this podcast to the church, I've been asking for 4 months for one thing only. Get me OBJ. Get me OBJ. And what does Bouchard do? He does exactly what I asked him to do. He's been fucking up on Lamar, but he did the right thing here. We go and get Odell Beckham Jr. The Ravens finally have a star wide receiver who's still, I would argue, in his prime after the season that he had before his injury. We're the first time that we haven't drafted somebody that's coming up as well outside of Steve Smith Sr. And I got a few points to hit on about Odell Beckham Jr. But here's the first thing that I want to take from him, why I believe that he's the guy that we went for. And I want to get your opinion on this, Trilly. The Ravens have a standard of the mentality that we want our players to have. And that especially comes from the defensive background of our team, right? You look at the two guys stand out the most, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, those guys that are just dogs for football, right?
Dogs.
Absolute dogs. But we had never had that on an offensive side, mindset-wise, of understanding football, being locked in, wanting the highest of highest potential to be earned, to yell at coaches because they're moving at such a high level. We haven't had that on the offensive side outside of Steve Smith Sr. It's the only guy that we've ever had that. And now, for the first time ever, after countless dogs that I can mention on the defensive side, right? Haloti Nada, Terrell Sugg, Ed Reed. Don't even get me started on Webb. Some people are going to think that's disrespectful. I love Webb. Webb's my guy, 21. Nobody rocked 21 better than Webb. But outside of Steve Smith Sr., this is the next guy, dude. Nobody is more locked in to wanting to win than Odell Beckham Jr. You see what happened when he went to the biggest brand of them all. People were like, he's washed. Why is he going to the Rams? He can't make it in Cleveland. He's got Landry there. That's his boy. Nothing can happen. And then what goes on? He goes out and has a standout end of the season with the Rams, had the breakout play of the Super Bowl. In my opinion, if he hadn't gotten injured, would have been the MVP of that game. And now we got a guy that's fully locked in on the offensive side of the ball. The Ravens finally have a second option to throw to, dude. It's a good day to be a Ravens fan, man. We just got to have somebody to throw it. We get somebody to throw it, dude.
That's
if
the
we can get
biggest
somebody
thing.
to throw it.
That's
But let's not go there yet. Let me enjoy it. Let me enjoy it. Tell me what you see in this signing, dude, because all I see, Odell Beckham seeing the green, and I'm seeing W's, dude. I am only seeing W's right now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's all you're seeing right now. Maybe if you throw your blinders on or something, and
I got the blinders on.
Yeah.
It's like when you go bowling. I'm putting up the bars.
Yeah.
This is strikes all day long, back to back.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ravens needed it, you've been calling for it all year. I've been telling you where, the biggest thing was you never went out and you got that number one guy. Why haven't they gotten the number one guy? There's guys sitting out there. There's guys getting moved. Why haven't the Ravens gone and done it? And you were telling me before the pod, Bouchard goes in there. He's like, Odell, I'm here. Here's the check.
The fuck do I know?
Right up front, right up your derriere. You're staying here. Right. You're not leaving.
He's
so
an
it's
underdog.
good. You need that. Sometimes you need an owner where you've been struggling in the dumps.
Yep.
And you guys have been getting out of your own way. Sometimes you got to step up. You got to write the check. You got to get it done. Now, is it
Absolutely.
going to be the right move moving forward? That's yet to be seen. But you're willing to take that shot for a 1-year deal for a guy
Yes.
that has proven
Yes.
that he is a top 5 wide receiver in the league for stretches in his
Yes.
career. There's no doubt about that. Odell is one of the top guys off and on every other year for the most part. But we'll see. The last
Top
time we saw
talent.
him play football for a consistent amount of time, he was on his way to winning the Super Bowl until he got hurt. The whole thing with his ACLs, he learned early in the year that he didn't have an ACL and then he tears it or whatever.
It just appeared. It didn't appear. He wasn't born with it. He's like, I got it. I tore it. You know what I mean?
So that's just the story of Odell Beckham and his life in general. He's an underdog all of a sudden.
Underdog.
But, if he is an underdog, that's what you need. You need those dogs.
Yes.
And that's one dog checked off the list that the Ravens desperately needed to get. Now they got more to do. Now, Harry, questions for you now. We got to get into it. Go. What does this mean? He said he doesn't have any guarantees on who's his quarterback going to be. Yet he still signed it. He still signed that deal. What's going on? Do you think he's going to Lamid, as we like to refer to him now on this
Until
channel?
he signs, he's Lamid. Until he signs. And I'll always love him. I'm not burning no jersey. Even if he doesn't play here, I'm not burning the white jersey. But he's Lamid. Now, I'm not going to jump the gun on our next topic, but I'm going to answer your question while lightly jumping the gun. I'm gonna preview the end of the appetizer and onto the entree. I don't think the signing that occurred yesterday that we're going to get into in a few minutes affects Lamar at all. And I'm going to make a point here. And I wonder what you think about this. What your question is, what does this mean? They sign Odell. They've signed Roquan. We're making moves. Where's our quarterback? I think that what it says is, dude, again, it comes down to the guy that we're about to talk to in a few minutes. His agent was in his DMs, as you told me. My guy doesn't have an agent. And my guy is obsessed with two things that we talked about a month and a half ago. The dollar number and the years of the amount of time that it's going to come. I think that Lamar truly believes, I think that he absolutely believes in his talent. He knows that he's a winner, but he knows that he is of the cloth of Michael Vick and he's of the cloth of Cam Newton. And sooner or later, his playing style, though I believe in Lamar more than I think most people do, that he can become a top 5 NFL pocket passer. I do believe that. He knows what's gotten him to the position that he's in, which is his legs. And sooner or later, his body's going to catch up to him. I think that Lamar believes that after 7 years, he doesn't have another contract coming. I don't think that he's punching the air at all, that what we're about to get into, who got signed. He is stuck on that number because he wants to create generational wealth off the bat.
Well, if that's the case, right, why not go for these franchise tags, make 40, 35 mil a year, play 1-year deals and just accumulate that money like Kirk Cousins has, or take a 3-year 150 all guarantee.
Because he wants to be able to tear 5 ACLs and still get paid, dog. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
that's it. That's why
you just want the longevity of the contract rather than just take the 3 years, go back to it, because you don't think obviously his body, the way his play style, it hasn't developed well in quarterbacks in years past, right? Where it's just a strictly running quarterback. So
yes.
So I guess he is in a different mold when it comes to that Kirk Cousins aspect of it, where he can go and bank 3 years, then go get another 150 mil, and then go get another 150 mil, all guaranteed. Yeah. And just
does that make sense? Does that make sense? What I'm saying, does that answer your question? Like, I know it doesn't answer who's going to be the quarterback, but I guess what it does say is that here's what I think the real question is, and this is what I think the real question is. Not is Lamar going to get paid? Is Lamar going to play for less than Daniel Jones this year? That's the real question. Because I don't think that anybody's coming to Lamar until possibly draft night, right? We've said on this show, the 3 teams that I see Lamar playing for, even with the Odell Beckham signing, I still believe this. I've changed the 2 and the 3. Number 1, it's still the 49ers. 2 now is the Ravens. 3 is the Jets. I don't know that this guy wants to be getting paid less than somebody who's not even in his caliber. What do you like? Does the Ravens going for it? And if the Ravens go and get one more piece, does that Does that do anything for this guy? I don't think so. I think he feels too disrespected to play on that number.
What, less than Daniel Jones?
I cannot see Lamar Jackson in a Ravens uniform at $32.5 million this year. I just can't see it. I don't see him suiting up for that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it either. But to kind of get to it, right? My guy, my franchise guy, we're talking about Daniel Jones's money. You look at the contract that he just got, 255 mil, 179 guaranteed. You look at the cap hits, they're
It's
less than
incredible.
Daniel Jones for the next 4 years.
It's incredible.
It's insane.
It's
I don't know how Howie
tremendous.
Roseman does it. You look at the numbers. Next year, Jalen's getting 6 mil on the cap. 6 point something to the cap. For a guy that just got this huge ass deal, how does that happen? 6.15. You know what Danny Dimes is getting paid next year? $21 million, Harry, to the cap.
But you know what? I got to keep you honest. As Meek Mill once said, they praying on my downfall. You were praying on Howie's downfall until shit started turning around.
No.
Yes, for
No,
years.
no,
I hate this
why would I pray for the downfall for the guy that's running my team?
because you hated him.
No, I still hate him. If you listen to the BSP podcast from yesterday, I'm still going to hold him accountable for when he fucks up. He's on a hot streak, and I'll give it to him.
You love him while he's up. You love him while he's up.
Hey, I want him to be up. I don't want him to screw up. But he has screwed up a lot in the past, and I'm waiting for it to happen again. But he's tending towards, and I'm going to tell you I told you so when it happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
He's on an uptick.
He is on an uptick, and his best quality is figuring out these contracts, whether it's restructuring Lane multiple times, Fletcher Cox, figuring out Darius Slay's situation, and figuring out this contract for where he's making in 4 years in 2026, $31.77 million to the cap when quarterbacks are getting, 50 by that time, right? With all these deals coming up. Crazy. You're going to be looking at this contract. You're saying, oh, he's overpaid. Maybe it's a lot of money, but that's the way the market goes. They went in, they set that deal for Jalen Hurts. They set it early before Burrow, before Herbert, before Lamar.
Patty McFatty. Perfect example.
And you got your guys. You're set for the next 5 years. We were talking about it yesterday, whether it's Goddard, whether it's A.J. Brown, Devontae. You got the guys. You got your O-line intact for the next, we'll see with Lane and with Kelsey, probably good for another 2 years, but you got the replacements right behind them. So
More Super Bowl runs.
And this cap flexibility now is they're going to be able to go get maybe a Buda Baker in a trade during the draft. Maybe you go get a guy like White down, the linebacker down in Tampa Bay, because you have this cap flexibility with Jalen Hurts' contract now, where this is what you've been preaching all along. This is what the Ravens wanted to do, is get a deal like this. The guy is just an absolute stud. We've been saying it. I know all you guys out there that's been following us along, all the 50 to 100 plus listeners we get per episode. We appreciate all of you, and you better be clicking that subscribe button if you aren't.
That 89's got to go to 189 million.
Exactly. Because that deal's coming, just like with Jalen Hurts. We're willing to take a team-friendly deal as long as we're getting paid on the back end, and that's what's going on with this.
Straight up, dude. And I just want to say one thing real quick. Before we talk about Lamar and all this shit about getting a deal done, let me just break something down for all the fucking people that are listening real quick. Before you tell me about Burrow and fucking Herbert and fucking Lawrence, none of those cocksuckers are taking a deal the way that, and I'm flying off of the mouth. None of those cocksuckers are taking a deal the way that Hurts did, because Trilly and I have been saying it since the beginning of this season. There is nobody team mentality-wise close to Patrick Mahomes other than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a team guy. You heard him right at the press conference. We talked about it the same week, the week after the Super Bowl. Are you concerned about contracts? That day will come, but that day isn't today. I'm concerned about winning. I promise you something. Joe Burrow's not saying that. Fuck him. He's not saying that. Herbert's not saying that. All right. Lawrence isn't saying that. Deshaun definitely didn't say that. And neither did Russell Wilson. There's a difference between the three guys, and neither did arguably the greatest thrower of the football that I argue every time on the show, and Aaron Rodgers always goes to get paid. The reason why these guys are few far in between, and Lamar is not part of a he's not a singularity. He's part of the majority that are all about one, as they should be. I got no knock on that. But that's the majority of these NFL quarterback guys. They're only concerned about what they get paid. There's only one guy that consistently has taken pay cuts throughout his NFL career to win. And that's the GOAT, Tom Brady. Taking year after year pay cuts in New England to keep guys like Gronk, to keep guys like Edelman, two of his greatest receivers he ever had. Patrick Mahomes taking a 10-year deal where in 5 years, he's going to be making at a minimum $7 million to $10 million less than what the market's going to be at, and he's still going to be the best. Jalen HUrts now doing the exact same thing. They're a rarity. It's insane that the Eagles got this rarity of a guy after winning a Super Bowl so shortly after. It really is fucking crazy. Like when you think about it, like look at all the years that Kansas City sucked, that the Bills sucked until Tom Brady got there. New England sucked. You look at that, dude. The only other team that's honestly had that success from going from a Super Bowl viable quarterback, insane, right, to then a guy who busts the fucking hinges off the door the exact same way, Green Bay. You can't tell me, maybe the 49ers with Montana and why is the name escaping me? Montana, who
Steve Young.
And Steve Young. Those are probably the only 3 teams to ever have that type of success.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the unexpected success for the Eagles. He was a second-round pick. Nobody really loved him coming out.
Right.
He flailed out at Alabama. Everybody's hating on him at Oklahoma, including myself a little bit. I'll throw myself under the bus. And
keep it honest. I love
you
you,
had
Burrow,
a guy
by
in
the
Carson Wentz get hurt, MVP candidate. Nick Foles wins you the Super Bowl. And then all of a sudden 2 years later, you draft Jalen. Carson flames out. He's pretty much out of the league at this point in 2 years. Jalen HUrts goes from an unknown to a guy that's developing, to a guy that gets you to the playoffs, to a guy that gets you to an MVP status that should have won the MVP, should have won the Super Bowl. Whatever. The Chiefs played a good game, but almost wins you a Super Bowl in a 2-year time span. It's pretty nuts, man. And the guy grinded it. He grinded for it. He's earned it. Hopefully, this is the reason why you give it to a guy like this, because he's not hungry dogs run faster. Jalen HUrts has got all the cliches. You never look back at your dump. You always just flush anyway. He said that one during a press conference, and he's always good for these crazy one-liners, Nick Saban. And that's a guy that, that has entrusted himself to the organization. They put it into him also, obviously, with the amount of money he's going to be getting, but they've surrounded him with guys. They surrounded him with his boys, where he can go and develop and be trusted and say, yes, I know I'm the guy here. I know I can get this done. And that's what a crazy special season that the Eagles had last year. It sucks it came up short, but now you're built for the future. You're built to keep succeeding. We were talking about it on the phone yesterday. I mean, what team in the NFC can even touch the Eagles other than the 49ers?
Nobody until they get a QB.
But they got to make a move at QB.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Nobody. The Eagles should be the most likely expected team to make it to the Super Bowl. By an arm and a length. And I'll even say Travis Kelce's arms and lengths, okay? Because that guy can reach a fucking wall a mile away, right? More than any other team, because they don't got to face nobody. Now, the question is, right, we're all on this topic, Trilly. And by the way, shout out Burrow, shout out Herbert, shout out all those guys. If you want to be on the podcast, we'll have you on. I love you. I'm just making a point. It's the fan in me. You got to understand. All right, going back to the pod. How do you adjust to that, to the point that we just said, right? Because we saw that's kind of what got in your guys' way, right? In the Super Bowl was you were just as much as you guys were able to score. I'm right now, this Eagles team is the 2017, 2018, right? 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors. That's this Eagles offense. Okay. But this defense, if you guys aren't getting those reps for a team that can score on you, how do you adjust to that? Because we're calling it right now. The Eagles will be in the NFC. It will be in the NFC Championship this coming year. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So how do you guys get over that hump?
You just need to get a stop. The biggest thing in that Super Bowl was getting a stop, and you didn't, and the fumble return for a touchdown. Those are the two biggest things.
Sure,
that's all it takes to lose a football game. Special teams, they had that big punt return all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yep.
I mean, those are three gigantic things where the defense kind of got put on their
Changes the
back
game.
heels.
Changes the game.
And it changes it dramatically. I think the defense played okay. Sodgate is real. Okay. They fucking beat the
Sodgate
shit
is
out of
real.
that goddamn field. And they've
Sodgate.
admitted it. All
Yes.
right. They should replay the game. I want to recount.
That is the definition of insider trading.
But
I mean, we're 2008 housing crisis, more like the NFL Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It's true.
But to answer the question, I mean, to figure out the defense, I mean, you have your core guys, you have two first-round picks, you have the young talent in place to go along with your Cox. You got to go and you got to get an assassin is what they need. They got to bring back Sue at the start of training camp. They got to bring back. You need to get a guy like Robert Quinn again, but way better production like a Chris Long that you had. You need to get these guys that can come in and they're hungry for that championship. That's the way this defense is going to get over the top because you have the young talent in Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis. You have it in Slay and Bradbury coming back now, Avonte Maddox. They just need to get that safety. They need to get that edge rusher and Sweat and Reddick to bring them over the top because they got the talent. It's just getting that killer instinct and getting that one play that determines the Super Bowl is where they're at. So, barring injuries, this team they're stacked. They're ready to go. It's nice. It's nice to not worry and bitch about things, Harry. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to find things to talk about coming up.
All right.
But when Howie fucks up the draft and drafts, I don't know, a guy from like Baylor or I don't know,
NDSU.
Yeah.
All right. Before we hit a little MLB talk, I got to say one last thing. This is my plea. This is our pre-draft show. We're going to have multiple pre-draft shows. This is a pre-draft segment.
And the draft's next week. And we're going to have
and the draft's next week. Okay. But this is a pre. Okay. I need my Ravens to move our pick. I need us to go balls to the wall. I need us to forget about going for an offensive lineman, going for another, deep threat corner. And I need us to trade that first round pick for a star wide receiver. And I'm telling you right now, Miami, pick up the phone. Give me Waddle. Shout out Jack McLaughlin. Give me Waddle. First round pick for Waddle alongside Mark Andrews, OBJ, just re-signed likely, Dobbins, Edwards. We would go off. So that's my plea. Just as you are probably thinking to yourself, you probably want to trade one of those you probably want to trade one of your picks for a player, right? I know that I do.
Last year I was all in on trading a player. I said, screw the draft pick, get me the stud. And that's what the Eagles did with AJ Brown draft night.
So now you want to go back. You want to reverse it this time. Drafts.
I think you take the talent and you take the longevity of the 5 years with that player at this point because of the cap situation. Because if you trade for a Buda Baker or somebody like that, you're going to have to pay him also. I'm not against doing that, but I just think this team just needs youth moving forward now to keep it going, where I'm not as hard pressed to go get that stud because you already have the studs in place.
Sure. Whereas the Ravens, they need that. They don't need.
So if I'm in your situation, you're in the Eagles situation last year. Fuck the draft pick. Go get me a Waddle, a D-Hop, or somebody like that, and let's rock and roll. Lamar, come back for the year. Let's do a last ride or whatever the fuck you want to do. And let's go win a Super Bowl.
And then we'll pay everything. All right, dude. We got 10 minutes before we hit this break. We want to talk a little MLB. You want to introduce it,
man? I mean, hey, it's the birds of summer. Harry, I want to make this proclamation to you. All right.
Tell me.
I was telling you beforehand, right? Obviously, I got the Phillies P on the chest. World Series run last year came up a little short. If you look at my fucking wall right now, I got Phillies everything. But I'm always down for an AL team, and Baltimore being right down the pike, a little over an hour away at Camden Yards. I've been to a couple games down there. I got the Cal Ripken jersey from when I was younger. I was looking for it.
It
would still fit because I was a big kid, so that shirt will still fit me. So I got to find it. But I'm all in. I'm all in on the Birds. All right. I think they're a fun, exciting young team. I'm not trying to bandwagon or hop on or anything like you did with the Eagles here, but I feel like it's due.
Whoa.
I'm all about the beer bongs, the bong dongs in the dugout, the sprinklers for doubles. This is a young, exciting team, and I'm in. I'm all in with you here, buddy.
Dude, I'm loving it. It's a great time for Orioles baseball. That's just the way that I can wrap up the statement that I'm going to make. It's a great time to be an Orioles fan. Last year was the first year since 2016 that we had an above 500 season. And dude, I think that this year we're going to make a stand. I think that we're going to be that team in the MLB that at the end of the day, nobody wants to play. We're going to
You
be a
don't
team
want to
that
play them in that 3-game wild card because
right.
they'll give you a fight.
We'll give you fits. Exactly. We'll give you fits. Now, am I saying that we're going to go into Philadelphia Phillies run the way that the Phillies did kind of out of nowhere? No, I would not say that. Would I be surprised if it happened? No.
But
no.
they don't have those veteran guys to get them over the top.
That's exactly right. And so we're kind of at this structure here, though, man, where it's like what kind of sucks is that though we got this success, we know that what's going to get us over the top, right? We got to get a real deal pitcher. But for you to do that, you got to get rid of your hitting. And right now, our strength is, dude, we're fucking bombing it. We are making the right. I mean, we need to make better plays defensively. We need to make, we need to fix our bullpen and so on and so forth. But dude, can we fucking make plays offensively? They can put it out of the park, in the park, wherever these guys want to be. That's where they're at. And we got fucking youthful talent, dude. It's a great time to be a bird of the summer. I'm wearing the orange and black all day long. I'm going to be spending thousands on Orioles gear this fucking summer because I might not be wearing purple anymore. I might not be wearing purple for the next 5 years. We don't know. I might be retreating into a darkness. I'm looking at possibly the Joe Flacco years coming back. But you know what? I'm telling you right now, fuck Toronto. Fuck the Yank. Fuck everybody. We're coming for all you motherfuckers. We don't give a shit, dude. I think it's going to be sick. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to go to games. I think the tickets are going to be insane once we really get hot. And dude, we're 9-7 right now. It's early in the season, but this is a playoff team for sure. This is a playoff team.
Yeah, it's definitely early. And the thing they got going for them is that they're so young, they don't know any better. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're going to hit those rough patches.
Absolutely.
That young guys are going to go through. You're going to go through and struggle on the bases and in the field. I mean, fuck the Phillies. I mean, they can't run the bases to save their lives right now. And It's been a huge struggle for them. And yeah, their biggest thing is going to be figuring out, yes, you need that stud pitcher because if you have Cole Irvin being your number 2 guy, that's rough. That's real rough.
Yeah,
but, I love the dong bongs, the ding, in the dugout. It's just a fun, exciting team that just doesn't know any better. They're going out there. They're going to play 162. They're going to treat each game like it's a brand new slate because they don't give a fuck. And
guys
they're
being
going to
dudes.
try to hit dingers, and it's going to be fun. And I'm in for it. I'm going to have to get some more O's gear. I'm in on the O's.
Dude, it's guys being dudes. That, you know what? That's the season phrase. That's the slogan for this year. The Orioles are just guys being dudes. Yeah. They're getting after it each and every freaking night. But really, let's get into really quickly. Let's get into some bold MLB predictions here because here's my question, bro, is, right now, who do we think is going to last in the team that's going to, how do I say this? Not a team that's going to pop, but is going to just have absolute success all year round. Who is the forerunner the Dodgers? Are they the team that are just going to continue to have success now, later, and into playoffs? Who is it, dude? If you had to put money on somebody to absolutely be a playoff contender, who is it, dude?
The Atlanta Braves. They're a very good baseball team, and
they're back. They're back.
They're very good. They're very, very, very good, and it sucks to say that, being in the division with them, but we took their asses down in the playoffs last year. So that gives me a little bit more hope because they are beatable, but they got good talent. That's another team where they had the hitters. They've gotten all these young guys and they've moved up the system.
Right.
And I
got some in my hand. Yeah.
And they finally got the young pitchers now coming up in Fried and Strider. Right. And as long as they stay healthy, man, they mash the fucking ball. They pitch. Their bullpen's not that great, so that gives me some. But they're going to be a good team. They were a good team last year. They're just going to get even better. That's the team. I don't love the Dodgers, honestly. I think they're due for a downfall, especially with that San Diego Padres team kind of spending even more money. And Tatis is set to come back soon.
They're real.
Why are they treating this like a comeback story, Harry? The guy was suspended for PEDs. He got hurt riding a motorcycle. And they're like, oh yeah,
he's back.
6 homers in 10 games.
Yeah, dude.
What is he doing down there?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
he's playing through a suspension. He should
Yeah.
not be playing baseball right now. I
Correct.
don't get it.
Correct.
Like,
I don't get it either, dude. No, and on top of that, dude, a comeback season. You guys got a fucking $1 billion in talent. Shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So here's my question, dude. Nobody's talking about him, but at the same time, everybody's talking about him in the betting world. Are the Rays the real deal, or is this just, or are the betting gods just smiling on him? Because, dude, they're covering the spread unlike anybody else.
Yeah,
They're
they're
going
another good
crazy.
team. They're another good
It,
team.
I mean, are they better than the Yanks?
The Yankees just don't have they got Cole, but after that, like, I'm not a big Hector guy. The rest of it,
Yeah,
they're gonna mash the ball, but when they don't, I don't see
they're
anybody
done.
other than
Right,
Garrett Cole
right,
going out there and dominating a pitching game where the A's have like 5 guys,
right.
6 guys that you have no idea who they are, but all of a sudden they're just gonna go out there and throw 7
Just
shutout
there.
innings, and you're like,
Yeah,
where did this guy come from? So the Rays are a good baseball team. Whether they just never are able to get over that hump.
no,
They never have that elite guy hitting wise to be able to do it. Now you got a Rosarina, right,
there
or
it
something like
is.
that, the
There it
outfielder,
is.
and Lowe, and you got a couple guys on that team that maybe they can finally get over it. But I don't know. I that's going to be a yet to be seen thing. I like the guys. I like the talent in San Diego. I like the talent in Atlanta. Other than that, in the AL, I mean, it's pretty wide open. I mean, the talent is ridiculous. And you said fuck them already, but the Blue Jays, they talk about dingers.
I
Talk
know.
about mashing the ball. They
I
got
don't want
guys
to talk
all
about
over
it.
the lineup.
I don't want to talk about it because that is, if there's a team that truly has been the Orioles kryptonite, it's the fucking Orioles. Or sorry, it's the fucking Blue Jays, dude. When Buck was here and we were so close in 2013, 14, 15, and 16, dude, that was always the team that had our number. I hate it, dude, because they're good. They're good. I don't know if they're World Series good, but they're good enough to create our downfall. But I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because we're the summer birds, not the Blue Jays. Dude, this
Yeah.
might be the quickest episode of the podcast ever.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I need to get my Phillies itch in here real quick, right?
Here we go.
The
I'm gonna
Phillies
put
have
the
been
mic on.
struggling. They've been up and back and forth. They're getting Bryce back soon. I feel it. He was hitting today off a Ranger. They're going to get Ranger. They're going to get Bryce back. And this team is going to be hitting dingers. Dingerdelphia is going to be in full effect. We're working on some product with Philly drinkers. Make sure you use promo code Brendan PETRILLI at checkout for 10% off. And stay tuned because we're going to be pushing out some amazing things in that store moving forward because this baseball team is going to be hot. They're going to get rocking and rolling. It's going to be a fun time down at CBP.
Fuck yeah.
I think the baseball, I mean, we don't have enough time for it here, but the pitch clock has been great
Yes.
for watching games on television.
Yes.
But at the games, it's a little much too much for my liking.
A little too quick?
Yeah, you can't settle in and relax
You can't settle
and enjoy
in,
yourself. Like,
and look
it's
around.
like you got to be ready. Like,
Yeah.
it's next thing. Let's go. And especially when you're at the game, you like to get a nice little buzz going and enjoy, talk a little bit in between pitches. But there's none of that now.
Feel it.
But Harry, do we want to hit NBA on the flip side, or do you want to wrap it up here?
Let's wrap it, dude. Camden Yard for life. NBA later this week. Camden Yard for life.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Shout out to 215. Go Birds, baby. Go check out Philly Drinkers. Subscribe to the pod.
OBJ.